Like, OMG. New Centurion.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of That New Toy Smell. I'm Pixel Dan.
I'm Devall.
I'm Dirt!
And Dirt's on camera.
Killen's over there
and
somewhere.
And Killen's over there. They all want you to know that they're here.
Yeah, they're here.
So what's going on, guys? It is 2010.
Wow, really?
Holy crap. 2009, it flew by really quick.
Yeah, it did.
I can't believe it. So we are now technically into the third year of That New Toy Smell, but actually we're only like, what, going on 2 years of actually doing the show, right?
Technically.
Because we started this at the end of 2008.
Yeah.
And now it's 2010.
So come the end of 2010, it'll be
2 full years,
it'll be
actually.
2 full years.
Yeah. Amazing. It's amazing we've been doing this for so long. So 2009 was actually a pretty good year for toys, I would say. A lot of great things came out this year, as you can see in front of us.
Yes.
Why do we have all these He-Man figures in front of us?
Because Pixel Dan has got an amazing video to show today.
That's right. Later on in the show, we'll be featuring a video on the best of 2009 Masters of the Universe classics.
Yes.
But before we get into that, we kind of wanted to have a little bit of a discussion on some of the other things we've seen this year. Some of the things we liked the best, some of the things we didn't like as much. So, thought we'd have a little bit of 2009 toy talk.
Cool.
So, thinking of 2009, we saw a lot of new lines coming out this year. A lot of movie-based stuff.
Avatar.
A lot of brand new stuff. That's right. We
Star Trek,
started
Terminator.
with the Avatar stuff, the Terminator stuff. All that stuff came out this year. So
G.I. Joe.
Thinking of exactly G.I. Joe, a lot of big stuff. Revenge of the Fallen.
Yes.
Transformers.
Yes.
So a lot of toy lines came out as a result of movies this year. But we also just got overall a lot of new toy lines, or the movies that did produce toy lines were actually like from previously existing franchises like G.I. Joe or Transformers.
Yes.
So it's like just a new look
Just
at some of
refreshing
the
the line for
a
the
new
year.
refresh for some of the toys we already had in the stores. So
Stop it.
Killen likes taffy. He's eating it off camera.
Woo, Taffy! Yeah!
So look, good,
Good. Great.
great. So looking at the toy
Show's
lines,
canceled.
show's canceled because of the taffy.
Dang it.
Moving right along.
Yes.
Looking at the lines from 2009, I thought it'd be cool to just kind of talk about some of our favorites. So,
What
of 2009, what was my favorite? My favorite new toy line of 2009 is sitting right in front
Yeah, I
of
was
us.
going to say, if you didn't say
I
it, you're
think
getting punched.
there is no question about it. Being a big Masters of the Universe fan, of course, this is the one thing that's excited me the most.
Yeah, Masters of the Universe Classic 2009. What a year! Woo!
What about you, Devall? What is your favorite line of 2009?
My favorite line actually isn't Masters.
Really?
Masters was a great line, but for me personally, on a personal note, I was just happy to see movie-style Ghostbuster figures.
Ghostbusters, yeah! Woo!
That's another
Now,
really
a lot
good
of
one.
people may disagree with that since they use the same body sculpts. The head sculpts aren't great, but you know what?
They're
They're
still-
movie-style Ghostbusters.
Exactly.
It's been 20 years. I'm happy.
Exactly, and that's the same way I feel about them. They might be reusing the sculpts, but you know what? They're still awesome figures to
Absolutely.
have. We finally have movie-based Ghostbusters in our collections.
Yes.
So that's all that excites me. So what about your least favorite toy line of the year?
How much time do we have?
No, just
Oh, okay.
spill it out, man.
God, Terminator Salvation figures were god-awful. The Avatar figures, as much as people respond to our video reviews on those on our YouTube account and on the
Yeah.
message boards, I understand people like the movie. I like the movie. Killen liked the movie. The toy line left something to be. Yeah, thank you.
The figures themselves, I'm not real impressed with. What I do like from the Avatar line are some of the bigger items, like the vehicles.
Beasts, the vehicles.
Like the
amp suit was really
the
cool.
amp suit.
Amp suit!
The amp suit was
the
awesome.
only reason Dirt's cheering is because you gave him the amp
I gave
suit.
him an amp suit.
That's right.
That's right.
God, as much as Dirt liked the Star Trek line, it really wasn't a great line of toys.
I was just getting ready to get into that.
They are clogging the pegs, and henceforth we won't see Series 2, which means Dirt will never get to complete his he'll never get to complete his bridge playset or his teleporter playset.
I was going to say, I wouldn't call it my least favorite toy line, but I would definitely call Star Trek my most disappointing toy line of 2009. And this is why. When I found out that Playmates got the rights to do Star Trek figures again, I got really excited, hoping we were going to get something like we got, back in the heyday of Next Generation and everything.
We did.
When I heard that they were going to be 3 3/4-inch figures, I got even more excited. And then I started seeing some of the pictures pop up with the bridge playset and all that. I thought that was all awesome. And then they actually hit the stores, and we found out that the bridge didn't come with all the pieces it was supposed to. You had to buy it all separate, and that the floor mat was just a piece of plastic, flimsy plastic you had to lay down.
You've never seen a big kid as disappointed as Dirt when he found out how many figures he had to buy because he didn't want to buy them all at first. And he's like, I got to buy all these now just to get the teleport. God!
And some of them you had to even get duplicates, right? Like different versions of characters to get different pieces for
same version, just with different accessories.
Different accessories.
Yes.
That is awful. See, Playmates really dropped the ball with the Star Trek
line.
line.
Makes you wonder what happened to Playmates sculptors they had in the 80s and early 90s. Like all those guys left for other companies, and suddenly Playmates is like, well, we got these licenses for these two big summer hits,
and all of those.
Let's just, I don't know.
What about all the great play sets we got back then? Like the Next Generation Bridge and the engineering room and the transporter were all fantastic play sets. What did you guys do? What is with this new bridge? I mean, come on.
I got to go back to Terminator for a second because the biggest disappointment of any toy line this year was the fact that they took the John Connor figure, which was supposed to be Christian Bale, and apparently couldn't get Christian Bale's likeness rights. So instead of they just covered his face on every figure. There were 2 figures, and each one's got his face covered. So it's not really Christian Bale. It's like
it reminds me of back when McFarlane or whoever had the rights to the original Terminator figures, and they couldn't do an Arnold.
So they kind of looked like Arnold, but it wasn't.
I was fine with that.
Yeah.
It was just a big, bulky dude with sunglasses.
Yeah.
That's right. But the new ones, and not to mention the sculpts on those figures were just straight not good. On the new ones,
not
the
at all.
Terminator figures, and they're still clogging shelf pegs.
Yeah.
That's the problem with them.
What else were you disappointed with this year?
Star Trek was my biggest disappointment.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything else in particular that stands out. I'll tell you what I am disappointed in. There's a couple things, because I was really excited about them, and now I don't know what's going on with both of them. It is the Ninja Turtles 25th Anniversary line and the NECA comic book Ninja Turtles line. Okay?
Okay, I can tell you, more than likely, the Playmates thing's still going to happen next year, and I guarantee you they show the stuff off at Toy Fair. The NECA line, I guarantee you, is gone.
And that's terrible, because I was so excited about NECA's Ninja Turtle line, and I was ready to get Shredder, and I was ready to get the Foot Soldiers, and then all of a sudden, we don't know what's going on anymore, and then they tell us they're going to release April, which is a great figure, except they're telling us that sales on April are going to determine whether or not we get the rest of the figures, which pretty much tells me they're not going to release
Which Killen's argument has always been, why do April?
Why
not release Shredder?
If they needed to get tooling dollars, Shredder was the guy they should have released.
But no.
It doesn't make any sense to me, but
I mean, we're not dissing NECA here, we're not dissing Randy Falk or any of those guys, but to be honest,
Falk?
To be honest, Playmates has screwed NECA. Literally, I guarantee you
think it's Playmates' fault?
Playmates and Nickelodeon now.
Well, and this is the thing.
Nickelodeon holds the master license now.
Well,
they're pulling the strings.
And it makes me wonder if that's what happened to the 25th Anniversary line, because we never got that last wave with Shredder and Casey Jones and the Foot Soldier and Slash. I'm still waiting for those 4 figures. And supposedly we're getting all these other ones, like the movie stars, and we're still supposed to get Playmates version of the comic figures. But where is all that stuff? That was all shown at last year's Toy Fair.
Yeah.
All was supposed to be out this year on store shelves, and the only thing we've heard lately is that they've struck a deal with Toys R Us to be Toys R Us exclusives, but we still have no release dates on any of this stuff. So I don't know what's going on, if it's still coming, if it's not till next year. What's going on, Playmates? You're dangling, this awesome carrot in front of our faces. Thank you, Dirt. And we can't catch it.
Woo! Dirt with the save! All right!
Gosh.
Oh, no! Hey, He-Man took out Scareglow, but took out his father in the process.
No, it's cool. Look who's still standing in that group. Skeletor is still standing. Randor is down.
Go Team Skeletor! hey, Man-at-Arms, how you doing?
Oh, Scareglow! Come back to us, Scareglow.
Okay. So now that we've picked up all our figures,
what are you looking forward to in 2010?
Well, there are... What is, like, newer? Like, most of all, I'm looking forward to the new stuff from the Masters, obviously, because Battle Cat's coming out in 2010. Stuff like... Oh, man, figure stands would be... Thank you, Killen. We need figure stands for these. I know those are supposed to be coming. We need those soon, because these dudes just...
He-Man won't stand, so
he's posing.
It's sexy pose He-Man.
I know something I want to talk about.
Yes.
Most surprising toy line of 2009. Mine, I'm going to give mine to the Marvel Universe line, and this is why.
Yeah, Marvel Universe!
I agree.
When Marvel Universe first launched...
Yeah, now let's talk, because we had an exclusive sneak peek
we did,
last year.
With Bullseye.
With Bullseye, and none of us were happy with them.
First of all, here's the thing. I was a huge collector of Marvel Legends all the way up until about the time Hasbro took over.
Right.
I was done with it by that point.
Yeah.
I didn't like Hasbro's versions of the Marvel Legends figures, so I kind of quit collecting, and I ended up getting rid of most of my Marvel Legends toys. So when they decided they were going to release Marvel Universe, new 3 3/4 inch figures, my initial reaction was, I really don't want to buy all those characters again.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I don't want to. I mean, I don't like that they've shrunk them down, whatever. And then when they started showing the first figures, like Bullseye, I was not impressed. I didn't like the funky neck thing going on, and I just...
Not at all.
I was not impressed. But it did a total, 180 for me, because...
It took them a while to find their foot.
It did. It took them a while to get
really
going.
Get into it.
But I found myself so addicted to buying Marvel Universe figures this year. It's like I've restarted a Marvel collection now, because now I'm just like dirt. Every time I go to the store, I have to dig through all the Marvel Universe figures to see if there's any characters out that I don't have yet. And whatever's out there that I don't have, I buy. I bring it home.
Dig it for figures! Yeah!
So Marvel Universe is definitely my most surprising line of the year, because I had no idea I was going to end up collecting those, and now they're one of my favorite toy lines to collect. So kudos to Hasbro on that one. They did a great job.
I don't know if there's any real surprises I had for 2009.
DC Universe has really been going strong this year,
well,
too.
I guess DC Universe would be my...
That's another one that,
That's really the only line besides Masters that
you've been collecting that pretty hard. And they've had a really good year.
Oh, man.
I mean, DC fans have the best figures right now with DC Universe. I mean, to me, those have well surpassed what Marvel Legends ever did.
Oh, yeah.
I think the DC Universe stuff is way better looking than any of the Marvel Legends figures.
Their Collect and Connect figures are much better. I mean, they've got the Talents of the Four Horsemen, pulling the reins, doing all the sculpts on the figures. And they're just releasing so many second and third tier characters that have started to become more popular or lesser known now, that are making a lot of fans, it's really broadening that scope of what's available for people to buy. So that's what people are excited about. Where the Marvel Legends had like 15 or 18 different Wolverines, the DC Universe line has only had like a handful of different Batman figures.
And they re-release some of their core characters from time to time, but that's a good thing to do, because you're always going to have those people that want to walk into a store and find a Superman or find a Batman, and it's good that they do that. But the cool thing about DC Universe is they've made it their goal to just release all these unique characters, these obscure characters that you never thought would get action figures.
Yes, Dirt.
Well, and when they re-release one, they do it later on. They don't do it in the next wave.
Exactly.
Revision to clog the peg.
Yes.
Exactly. So you don't ever have to worry about Batman's clogging the pegs with DC Universe.
No.
Well,
good luck trying to find DC Universe on the shelves.
That's the other thing.
Good luck finding DC Universe on the shelves.
While we're on DC Universe, while it was the most surprising for me of 2009, it was also the most disappointing because of exclusive waves. Because of the Walmart
exclusive waves are the worst thing ever.
It was horrible.
Yeah, the Walmart exclusives, there was 2 of them this year, right? One at the very beginning of the year, and then the newer one, and they were both incredibly hard to find for most collectors.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Walmart, when you have a line that popular, it's terrible to do a store exclusive with it.
But if Walmart's going to pay for the tooling and everything for these different figures, you know what,
that's always a good thing about it. There's always pros and cons when it comes to exclusives.
Oh, I lost my mic.
You lost your microphone. Are you good?
I got it.
Can we hear you now?
I'm good.
Good.
It fell.
But it's a good time to be a DC fan.
Yeah, I agree.
mean, I would definitely say that, because Mattel's really got something good going there, and I don't see it ending anytime soon.
No,
so.
not with the way the sales are. There's no way.
Sweet.
I also want to give a shout out to G.I. Joe, adding core original figures to the Rise of Cobra line.
Excellent. That's another one I wanted to talk about. G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra figures.
G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra!
Excellent. That was another one that I would put under my like a pleasant surprise type thing. I had no idea that I got a little worried when they were like, we're going to do G.I. Joe figures based off the movie. But, you know, they kept them the same scale.
Yeah.
They pretty much kept them the same style.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the ones that have the movie likenesses aren't great, but
They're
for
okay.
all the other ones, including the ones like Dirt just mentioned, where they added regular characters into the movie line and, like, movieized them, all that stuff looks great to me. And the vehicles look awesome.
The biggest surprise to me out of that line is the pit play set.
The pit play set is fantastic.
Amazing. Believe it or not, we actually have video for a review that we were going to do back in August.
We got to do a review of that.
It never happened because we got lost in everything else.
Eventually, we're going to get a pit review.
Yeah, eventually. We do have a pit. We have it filmed.
We should just do that for an episode.
A pit?
We're going to do the pit episode sometime soon.
Absolutely.
We got to do that. I love the pit. It's so cool.
It's a cool place.
Sweet. So 2009, great year.
It was a great year for toys. It was a great year to be toy collectors, unless you are just angry toy collectors, which I have to sit on for a second because a lot of people have pointed out wanting to know why I'm so angry and upset all the time.
I saw that. That was funny.
Here's why.
He collects dolls.
We as collectors are the most vocal group of people in the world, without a doubt.
Especially with these guys.
Especially with these guys. And it irritates me when I see people complaining about, oh, this figure used this parts again, or that figure used that parts again, or why choose a goddess figure, or the DC Universe figure, why this figure, why that figure. Just be happy, okay? Yeah. Be glad that you have these figures, that you can buy these figures, and they're available for you to purchase no matter the troubles, no matter the problems. I've complained about Digital River just like everyone else. I've had my issues. But that is why I seem so upset when we talk about these things.
You screamed at him one time on the phone.
I did. It just irritates me is all, guys. That's all it is. I'm sure it's the same feeling you guys have when, I don't know, when you get a goddess figure before your actual subscription figure of Randor.
I still haven't gotten Randor. What's up with that?
So that's that same feeling. I just am more vocal about it, and you know, I'm going to speak my mind whether they want to hear it or not. So,
Speaking your mind, 2009!
Thank you, Dirt.
Yeah!
Action figure collecting is serious business.
It is.
That's all I have to say.
Scary. Wait till you guys get to walk around San Diego this year, and then
I can't wait.
No.
Okay, well, with all the 2009 discussion out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into this week's video, which takes a look at Masters of the Universe classics in the year 2009. At the tail end of 2008, we saw the relaunch of the most powerful man in the universe, with Masters of the Universe Classics, a new toy line specifically created for collectors and sold exclusively through MattelCollector.com. The line kicked off with 3 figures at the end of the year: King Grayskull, He-Man, and Beastman. With these awesome figures being received incredibly well by fans of the franchise, it was clear that 2009 would prove to be a fantastic year for He-Man and company. So let's take a look at the first full year of Masters of the Universe Classics. 2009 started off on a very high note, with the Overlord of Evil himself, Skeletor. Since we had already had He-Man in our collections for 2 months by this point, Skeletor was highly anticipated. And that really showed, as Skeletor started the trend for the same-day sellouts on MattelCollector.com. Because of this, many unsuspecting people missed out on He-Man's arch-rival, and would have to wait until the end of the year for a reissue. Stratos hit the scene in February, adding to the ranks of the heroic warriors. While the sculpt of Stratos was quite good, his downfall was that he severely lacked accessories. Although it came just as the original, every other figure in this line has come with at least one accessory. Even still, Stratos was a welcome addition to the collections of many. March was originally intended for Mer-Man, but because Mattel wanted to correct some issues before his release, Faker became the figure of the month. Faker was originally offered as the New York Comic Con exclusive, and was originally intended to stay that way. He's just as you remember, a repainted He-Man with Skeletor's armor. But the paint job on this figure might still be one of the best to date. He even included his awesome robot chess piece. Mer-Man was finally made available in April and instantly became one of the most raved about figures to date. Between his incredible paint deco and the ability to display him with either his classic figurehead or his 8-back head, Mer-Man instantly became a must-have for everyone's collection. May's release was the neutral cosmic warrior known as Zodak. The figure was based on the original incarnation of Zodak, as seen from the original toy line. Just like Stratos before him, Zodak was very light on accessories, only including his blaster. Depending on how you sighted Zodak, the evil warriors on collection shelves were really starting to outnumber the heroes. June was a huge month as we saw the release of the ruthless leader of the evil horde himself, Hordak. Since the 2002 line never actually saw a Hordak figure released, this one was highly anticipated and once again another fast sellout for the Classics line. His design was reminiscent of his original figure, with some 2002 style influence seen in his staff. Hordak's release was exciting for many who were already anticipating more figures from the Evil Horde and the world of She-Ra. As July rolled around, it was time for the San Diego Comic-Con, and an all-new exclusive figure for Masters of the Universe Classics. Available first at the con, then soon after at MattyCollector.com, came one of the most anticipated Masters figures of all time, Hero. Originally planned to be released as the main character in the Powers of Grayskull toy line, Hero has been nothing more than a prototype picture floating around the internet for years and years. The Masters of the Universe Classics Hero finally gave the die-hard Masters fans a figure that they have been wanting for years, and he did not disappoint. The main July figure was actually quite impressive. Though many were excited about Man-at-Arms, he turned out to be a much cooler figure than I think most were expecting him to be. He had the ability to swap heads from the classic clean-shaven head to the much more recognizable mustache head as he always appeared in the cartoons. He also came with a slew of weapons, and the back of his armor worked as a mini weapons rack. And for fans of the 2002 series, Man-at-Arms also included a bonus accessory, a brand new version of the 2002 Power Sword. Duncan was easily a must-have. In August, we were treated to another evil warrior in Tri-klops. Another remarkable figure, it was easy to see that Mattel was on a roll. Tri-klops came with quite an impressive assortment of accessories himself, such as his classic sword, a Doomseeker from the 2002 series, and even a brand new version of the classic warrior ring. Webstore went on sale as September's figure. As another character that hasn't had an action figure since the 80s, many were quite exciting to get their hands on him. Although he's lacking his classic pulley system action feature, Webster does still include a rope and grappling hook attached to his backpack. He also has a bit of a 2002 influence with the inclusion of small spider legs attached to his back. October was another big month as fans were treated to the first female figure in the lineup, the Captain of the Guard herself, Teela. Teela was an all-around amazing sculpt, who also came with a slew of accessories. She has the option of swapping heads and armor to display her with that classic snake armor of the old figure, or her ponytailed head as we were used to seeing her in the cartoons. Tila showed all of us exactly what we can expect to see with female figures in this line to come, and has many even more excited to see some of their favorite Princess of Power figures get a release. October was also the first time we received a bonus figure, the 2002 version of Zodak. This Zodak's figure was based on his appearance in the MYP cartoon series, and included a staff and glow-in-the-dark tattoos. His bio even distinguished him as a separate character from the previously released Zodak, giving us an explanation for both of them existing and both being so different from one another. November gave us a re-release of He-Man, which was well accepted by collectors, especially those who missed him originally. He featured a few minor differences, such as the paint on his face. Many even considered him to be an improvement over the original release. The brand new figure in November was one that I was incredibly excited about, Scareglow. Scareglow is another character released in 2009 who has not had an action figure since the 80s. He features a killer sculpt, and his classic glow-in-the-dark action feature is still intact. He even came with a brand new accessory created by the Four Horsemen, a small key to Castle Grayskull chained to his wrist. It's an awesome accessory for an incredibly awesome figure. December closed out 2009 with 3 figures being released. Skeletor got a reissue, which was great news for those who missed out on him at the beginning of the year. But we also received his half-brother and ruler of Eternia, King Randor. Randor was strongly based off his look in the classic toy line. Because of his bright colors and his awkward resemblance to the Burger King, Randor did receive some criticism. Even still, he's overall a great figure and still sold out quickly. The bonus figure in December was another first-time figure, the Goddess from the early mini-comics. She's the precursor to the Sorceress, and really isn't well known except to the die-hard fans of the classic series. Goddess featured a really cool translucent green skin and was a very welcome addition to the line by the fans of the old figure series. With an impressive 17 figures being released in 2009, it is clear that Masters of the Universe is once again running strong. And it seems we have a whole lot more to look forward to in 2010. So what are my picks for 2009? Well, my favorite figure of the year has to be Scareglow. Man-at-Arms was close to winning this award from me, but Scareglow has always been a favorite character of mine, and I just can't get over how awesome this new figure is. My least favorite figure of the year has got to be Webstor. That may be surprising to some, but I really found myself underwhelmed by this figure. Something about his dull paint job and the lack of a pulley in his backpack really just knocked him down a notch for me. There already seems to be quite a bit coming out in 2010 that I am really excited about. And you bet that I'll be taking a look at each figure individually as they come out. So until then, I'm Pixel Dan. Take care, guys.
Hey guys, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed this week's video.
I did.
Did you like it?
I did. I like that you pointed out that the Scareglow was your favorite figure out of the entire line, and Webstor was your least favorite.
Webstor is my least favorite.
That actually was surprising to me.
I think it was surprising.
Surprised you chose Webstor and not, I don't know, Stratos.
Well, I'll tell you what. My second, the one that
Who was
almost
waving? By the seam waving? Oh,
I like
that's all
Stratos
can do.
okay. I like Stratos okay, but Zodak with a C would be my second least favorite figure. Like it was between him and Webstor over my least favorite, but like
I don't know. Webster's a pretty sweet-looking figure, honestly, but it was like my disappointment with him is what made him my least favorite.
Here's the biggest disappointment I had at Web Store. I understand that they said there were going to be no action features. I get that. That's cool. But, seriously, a backpack that doesn't work?
Well, I've talked about this before.
Guru!
I talked about it in my review of them. I appreciate what they did here with the rope, but it just gets in the way. It's pointless. It just tangles up and gets all over the place.
Yep.
His paint job is so dull compared to the rest of them. Like, he doesn't have any of the shading or anything that the other guys have. And they added the small, stubby little
from the 2002
feet, which
version.
I understand they did it to be like a nod to the 2002 version, but I don't like how it's not removable. So, like, it's just always stuck there. So if you didn't like your web store with these extra appendages, you don't have an option. They're pretty much there. Yeah. You can fold them back if you want to, I guess.
Yeah, and hide them.
And try to hide them. But I don't know. Just overall, when I got this one, I was just like, I'm unimpressed.
Yeah.
You know? So he was one of the few figures that I didn't open and go, oh my god, it's my favorite figure ever. Because
every figure.
I pretty much did that every time until, you know, the excitement of the new figure wore off. This is the best one yet! And then a day later, I'm like, well, it was not really the best one yet.
Yeah, he's pretty good, though.
He's pretty awesome. Scareglow got my favorite figure of the year because I've always been a huge fan of the Scareglow figure, and he's one of those ones that I wanted to see get a new figure in 2002 real bad. He never got it. He never got a Staction, so it's like the first time we've seen him since the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing sculpt, and I love the little extra accessory with the gray skull key.
Glow in the dark.
I think that's a nice touch. But the guy that almost won my favorite figure of the year was Man-at-Arms. And Man-at-Arms was just like such a huge surprise to me when I got him.
For the fact that, I don't know, he's got, you know, they gave him the extra weapons, the sword and the gun.
I mean, he's got like a whole weapons rack right on his back. That's fantastic.
He's got the mace, and of course you didn't bring the extra head. But of
I
course
didn't bring the extra head with him, but he's got
the removable head that you could actually put the
mustached head.
Mustachioed Duncan head.
And, like, I mean, the armor, the details on the armor is fantastic. I love the colors on the figure. I mean, overall, I was just, like, I've never been a big Man-at-Arms fan, but when I got this figure, I couldn't believe it. I was like...
You stand him up.
I was like, this is just the coolest figure I've seen yet. Like, for real. Like,
for real?
For real. For real. Like, I loved it. So he almost got my favorite figure of the year. Mer-man is another one that was
Mer-man was a great figure.
Really good.
I really enjoyed Hordak from this year. Yeah. I thought Hordak was... probably one of the cooler figures released this year. My most disappointing figure would have to be Hero.
Hero? Really?
You know, I'm glad they made the figure. It's cool that we finally get this figure after all those years. I just wasn't happy with him.
Really?
You know,
what makes you not happy about it?
You know, it's just he just seems way too...
I'll tell you what I wish he had.
Basic.
Yeah, thank you, Killen. Basic. To put my thought into words.
You know what probably would have made him better? What I wish he would have? The metallic gold armor that the old prototype had.
A metallic paint job would have been really cool.
Because the vac metal or whatever. Because the original prototype, he had that really cool, shiny, metallic gold armor, and I think that's what made him look so
His staff
cool.
was all vac form metal.
So, and then they didn't do that on this new one, which I understand why. That vac metal stuff's usually not, like, it flakes eventually.
But...
You know, I don't know. It does kind of take away from him that he doesn't have it, I think. Because I look at all those old prototype pictures and I see that figure that I used to long for. Like, oh, I wish they would have ever released that. He's so cool looking. And then we finally got him. And I think he's awesome. But I think he would have been way cooler if he had that vac metal armor. He would have had that metallic gold. I think... But I don't know. I mean, is that it for you? Is that why you don't like him
pretty much.
So much?
I mean, he just seemed really basic to me. I mean, whereas you were really disappointed with Web Store, I can live with it. But just for some reason, even seeing the pictures of Hero months in advance, and then standing in line at San Diego to get everyone's heroes, I think that's actually what did it for me was San Diego. And I'm not lying. San Diego
killed Hero.
I won't lie. It really killed it. For those of you who stood in that line, you understand. For me, standing in that line and buying from myself, for Pixel Dan, for Scotty Cash, for a couple other people, and having to lug all of those bags back to the hotel pretty much killed my experience with Hero.
Well, I'll be there to help you next time.
Thank you.
He-Man got a reissue this year, which I really liked.
So did Skeletor.
Skeletor
Go Team Skeletor!
Go Team Skeletor. The He-Man reissue had a lot more upgrades to it, though, that I liked. Like, I didn't really I didn't really have the issues with He-Man originally that a lot of people had, but when I got the reissue, I really saw the difference.
Yeah.
Like, I like that they got rid of the paint on his face,
the
like
muted,
the red.
yeah, he had like rouge on his cheeks, and
It just looks, he
originally-
looks better overall.
yeah, he does look a much better figure. The only thing I'm still upset with is the loincloth.
It's a lot more flexible than it used to be.
It is, but
The original one wasn't completely stiff. You got to remember that. The first couple, like King Grayskull and He-Man and Beastman, all had those really stiff loincloths.
Yep,
They didn't move at all.
really worried mine's not going to sit on Battle Cat
Sit
at
on
all.
Battle Cat. Well, I think Battle Cat's saddle is formed for it, so you should be okay.
That's good.
But we'll see. Hopefully we'll have that soon.
Yes, soon.
I can review that. The cool thing about Masters of the Universe Classics this year is they really seem to give us a lot of these obscure characters that we didn't think we would be seeing in a toy line, like Hero, and specifically like the Green Goddess.
The Green Goddess, yeah.
Like we got some of these older pre-Eternian characters, which is what they're all often referred to, like the Green Goddess and Hero, which are all characters that existed in like the ancient times before the rise of He-Man and all that stuff. So that's kind of cool that we're getting stuff like that, because
I mean, you
that's
can
not
even put
something
Hordak into that list.
Yeah,
because
Hordak.
He
Hordak
actually
was
is
one of the
pre-Eternian.
he was one of the big villains at the time.
Yep.
You could put Zodak in that list too, actually, because he was around at the time. But
I mean, they really did, really did a great job to bring a whole lot of diversity to this.
They're
line this year.
hitting all aspects of the Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
By hitting the classic mini comics with the Green Goddess, by hitting the MYP cartoon series with Zodak with a K, and classic toy line like the original King Randor and Scareglow. They're hitting all aspects of the series, and I think that is really
and even
great.
beyond that, with the interchangeable heads, like Merman's interchangeable head to make it look like the back of the original packaging.
That's right. Or
Man-at-Arms head
to make them look like the cartoon.
Filmation,
That's right. So I mean, I think Mattel is doing a fantastic job of just taking from all the different genres of Masters of the Universe and putting them all together in one toy line to try to appease all of us.
And 2010 looks like it's going to be a heck of a year. We have Adora in January.
Adora and Battle Armor He-Man.
Battle Armor He-Man. Our Wondar should be here by March. I think.
Evil Lyn is in April.
Yeah, Evil Lyn's in April.
Mossman is in March.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already got a big year. And then they've already announced that at Toy Fair they're revealing 4 new figures. So that's going to lead us into our forum questions this week, because one of our first questions asks us what we think the 4 figures are going to be that are going to be revealed at Toy Fair. So do you have any guesses on that?
Mine off the top of my head, Ram-Man would be cool, but I don't think it's going to happen this year.
Ram-Man scares me because of all the tooling they're going to need for him.
I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think we'll get She-Ra.
She-Ra
I think we'll get She-Ra.
Well, they told us, I think, already that She-Ra is definitely coming this year. So.
They've said we're going to get a New Adventures character this year, so I would bet they'd show a New Adventures character. Optic would be cool. Optic or Flog.
Or Flog. Or Slushhead.
Slushhead would be cool.
I like Slushhead a lot, too. Yes, I like New Adventures.
I do too. It's okay. It's all right. It's not great, but the character designs were great for that show.
I liked it.
And
I liked
it.
By the way, this question was asked by Chris Event.
Yes.
Just going to make sure I give him the shout out for asking the question.
What is that, 2? Third, I'd like to see a Snake Man.
Ooh, King Hiss?
I don't know. Not King Hiss. I think I'd like to see Cobra Khan.
Cobra Khan.
Personally. I don't know who else.
It's hard to think. Okay.
Photog.
Photog.
Thank you. No dirt. Photog will never
If we got the Fearless Photog, I'd buy it.
Yeah,
I'd be all over that. I'll tell you what, I've been pushing for Mosquitor really hard. But
Mosquitor, but that would take a lot of tooling.
Toy Guru just said in the last Q&A we asked that they're going to do Mosquitor, but he confirmed that it wouldn't be for a while.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be one of the 4 figures. I would say that we've got guys like, I think Mechaneck has a good chance.
Mechaneck.
And if
because
we
they've
get
already
Mechaneck,
mentioned how they would do Mechaneck.
And if we get Mechaneck, then I think Stinkor is an absolute. Because we'll have the parts from Merman, and we'll have the armor from Mechaneck. So I think if they do Mechaneck, we'll get Stinkor for sure. So I'm going to say those 2.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I think those are 2 really good ones that we'll probably get. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Jitsu.
Jitsu
or
would be
somebody.
Cool. Fisto?
Maybe Fisto too, but we've got the armor already with King Randor, and I'm just trying to think they're reusing these parts and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think Jitsu might be one that's coming. You're probably dead on with She-Ra.
Yeah.
I guarantee I don't know
whether
if she'll
they
be
show
one
her
of
at
the 4.
Toy Fair.
She's definitely
They'll
coming
definitely
this
show
year.
her at San Diego
we've got
Comic-Con if
Adora.
they don't show her at Toy Fair. I guarantee
we have
that.
to get She-Ra this year. I guarantee.
Or they might reveal some at C2E2 this year too.
I'm kind of hoping they do reveal a new Adventures character, so I'm going to go ahead and put my money on Optic. I think Optic is going to be the first one they do, because I know the Four Horsemen have said that they would love to take a stab at doing Optic.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like their favorite of the new Adventures characters, I think. And I know he's got a huge fan following with, like, even fans of Masters that don't appreciate the new Adventures stuff would all buy Optic.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they've
Just
all
'cause he's a cool
said,
figure.
because he's a cool, I mean, how can you not like a character whose head is a giant eyeball? That's all I'm saying.
Dirt, yes.
Dirt.
What about Orko's a San Diego exclusive?
Orko is an
They,
exclusive.
they discussed that, especially at the fan panel last year.
I
People kept
think-
bringing up Orko, and they were like, "We're going to do Orko. He won't be." They pretty much guaranteed he wouldn't be a standalone
I
figure.
think he's going to be a pack-in, or he's going to be a two-pack. I could see Orko coming with.
Prince Adam.
He could be a pack-in with like a character like Prince Adam, which would be sweet. Or if they did like a two-character pack. Maybe if they did like Orko and Cowl from Princess of Power, I would like that. Or some people even suggested Gwildor from the movie.
Oh.
I don't know about that one, but
Be nice.
I mean it's possible. I like the movie.
Yeah.
I like the movie. I don't.
They couldn't do movie figures.
They can do
the movie figures.
They can do the movie figures that were
for.
already released in the old
So
line.
they did Gwildor, they did Blade,
Gwildor,
and they
Blade,
did,
and Sauron.
Sauron.
They have the rights to Blade, Sauron, and Gwildor,
Yes.
but nobody else. So we can get those.
Yes.
But yeah, I think those are my guesses at least. Mechanic and Stinkor,
Those are two probably.
and probably She-Ra, and probably Optic.
I guess we'll find out in a
We'll
month.
find out. We'll find out soon. Okay.
Next question.
Next question. This is a good one. Crash Murdoch asks, when did you realize that you were a collector rather than just a kid who plays with toys?
Wow. You want to go first?
I can go first,
Go
because
first.
I can pretty much pinpoint this one, I think.
I can too, but I want to hear yours
First of all, I'll say this. It probably started around the time I was buying the Toy Biz X-Men figures. And I'll say that only because when I was buying those toys, I remember my dad always making these comments to me. Why don't you actually play with those toys? All you do is ever line them up and stand them up, put all their accessories on them, and line them all up, and then you take them down and put them away again. So I wasn't even playing with those toys at that point. I liked having all the figures and the accessories and everything. But I would definitely say that the moment I realized I was actually a collector was around 95, 96, when the Power of the Force figures of Star Wars came out. Because I went into the store, and I probably hadn't really been buying toys for a couple years since those X-Men figures.
Yep.
And I was about 12 years old probably at this time, 12, 13. And I walked in and I found Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. And I went, Star Wars toys? Oh my God, I'm buying these. And I got them both home and I ripped them open and I thought they were awesome. And then, by this point, Star Wars figures started just flooding the stores everywhere. And then, this is when I really became a collector, because I'd go in the store and I'd always look for the new Star Wars figures. But I would take them home and I would hang them on the wall. I would not open them. I became a mint-on-card collector. So that moment right there, and I would say 96, is when I became a collector.
Yep.
And that's when my Star Wars collecting started. I still, to this day, am still buying Star Wars figures pretty much every time I'm out doing my shopping. So.
God, mine would start, and too bad Cash isn't here because he'd love this. Mine actually started when they started releasing the Power Ranger figures. When the Zords is what started it all, because I was in high school when Power Rangers really started to get big, when they started to do, the Ninja Zords and all that. When the Zords started to get really big and really cool, I was in high school. I was probably a sophomore, and I remember buying the Falcon Zord and buying a couple other random Zords, and then from that day on, every week when I'd get a paycheck from working, I worked at Pizza Hut then, and I get a paycheck. I literally, on our lunch break, from the time we got out of our vocational classes where I was studying TV and film and had to go back to school, we literally would run to Toys R Us every day, literally, and see what they had on the shelves. And I swear to you, every week I probably plopped down $200, $300 a week on Power Ranger stuff. I had a lot of Power Ranger stuff.
That's awesome.
And of course, I sold it all when Dan and I originally opened a toy store years ago. I sold it all. But I had a lot of Power Ranger stuff, and I remember all of it. I had everything. I had all the Zords, but unlike Scotty Cash, all mine were still in the box. I had taken them up, put the stickers on, had messed with them, had displayed them in some fashion, but ultimately they went back in the box, and they just stood on the shelves in the boxes. So that's ultimately, literally, when I became a collector.
And that would have been, when was Mighty Morphin big? That was probably like 92, 93.
I graduated in 95, would have been 93.
Yeah, 93.
93, and then 94 is when the movie came out. So, I mean,
Yep.
that's when it really
93.
exploded.
Awesome. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, that was a fantastic. That's probably one of
that's
the
a
best.
cool-
That's a
that's-
great question. So,
Yeah, hats off to Crash. That's a cool question.
if you guys ever want to ask us any questions you want to see answered on the show, or you got fan art you want to send us, you can always hit us up on the forums at thatnewtoysmell.com, or you can send us an email at tntsadmin@gmail.com. So
That's
send
right.
those our way. We love getting that stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We'll always make sure we give you guys a shout out right here on the show. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to go ahead and wrap up this
Yeah.
installment of That New Toy Smell.
Absolutely.
So, anything else you got for today?
No, I'm good. I'm looking forward to 2010. I'm
Oh,
looking
man, me
forward
too.
to going to Toy Fair this year, as long as the
Toy Fair.
Toy Industry of America decides to approve our press badges.
So hopefully we'll be there. Guys, always remember you can check out killinenterprises.com if you're interested in buying any of the awesome stuff you see around us. Toys, video games, PC games, DVDs. We carry it all right
Sword
here
of
at
the New
store.
World on PC, new,
It's a good,
$14.95.
It's a good game. Go buy it.
I don't think. Yeah, it's a great game. Great game.
We got more podcasts and all kinds of great stuff like that on pro wrestling and MMA, fantasy football, the works at VGLosers.com. And you can always check out new episodes of That New Toy Smell every Saturday and new episodes of the It Figures podcast every Wednesday at thatnewtoysmell.com.
As well as pretty much new content every day on that
New
Toy
content
Smell.
every
Except
day.
for this week, it's New
Recovering.
Year's week.
Recovering, but
yeah,
we're getting back in the swing of things. And I'll tell you what, things are about to get real good. So make sure you all stay tuned to popculturenetwork.com.
That's right.
Which will be
PopCultureNetwork.com!
which will be the new go-to place for
Yes.
everything that we
Absolutely.
do. So until next week, guys, I'm Pixel Dan.
I'm Devall.
Take care, guys. Woo!
Like, OMG.